Coming up on Evening Edition, we preview the local mayoral races happening tomorrow. Plus, a murder in South Carolina is making people question ride-sharing safety. And the Chicago Police Union is protesting over Jussie Smollett's drop charges. Live from Southern Illinois University, you're watching River Region Evening Edition. Tomorrow, voters will choose the next mayor of Carbondale. Good evening. I'm Jacob Gordon.
And I'm Maggie Latham. Carbondale resident Nathan Colombo is challenging incumbent John Mike Henry. Henry is seeking his second term as mayor. If Colombo wins, he will be the city's youngest mayor ever elected. You can visit the website on your screen for a look at Jackson County's complete ballot. And 4 candidates are on the ballot for the Marion mayoral election tomorrow. The candidates are current incumbent Mayor Anthony Ranella, Marion City Commissioner Angelo Hightower, businessman Mike Absher, and Marion resident Dennis Ball. The polls will be open from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Charles Road in Carbondale at the intersection of Route 51 will be closed tomorrow starting at 9 a.m. and will remain closed until Friday at 5. Crews will be making repairs to the sewer there. Motorists are asked to use alternate routes during this period. The Carbondale Fire Department will begin hydrant flushing next Monday. Crews will be working weekdays from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. The flushing will happen at South Illinois Avenue and West Grand Avenue, South Oakland Avenue and West Chautauqua Street, and South Wall and East Park Street. There may be a change in the water pressure and possible discoloration. The water is safe to drink. However, city officials say they want to make sure that you wait a few hours before doing laundry.
The Jackson County Sheriff's Office is investigating a fatal car pedestrian accident on Dogwood Road, about a mile east of Giant City Road in rural Carbondale. The investigators say 57-year-old Jackie Rowland called 911 around 9 p.m. Saturday night after he hit a person walking on the side of the road. Rowland administered aid to the victim, 25-year-old William Dutch, until first responders arrived. Dutch was pronounced dead at the scene. An investigation continues. Due to high water from Mississippi River flooding, the Illinois Department of Transportation has closed Route 3 at Jackson-Randolph County line. Route 3 access is restricted between Illinois 151 and Chester at the Cora Floodgate Levee. This section of Route 13 will be closed until floodwaters recede from the area. Warning and detour signs are in place. IDOT says drivers should not attempt to drive through these waters because the vehicle could be swept away.
All right, Maggie, we know that spring started last month, but it was kind of an April Fool's joke today with the little colder weather.
It kind of faked me out. The sun was shining, it was beautiful, but it was still really cold outside. Jordan Smearman is here now with First Look at Weather. Jordan?
Well, Maggie and Jacob, it was a little bit chilly today, and it's not going to be any much better tonight, as we're going to dropping down to 41 degrees with some partly cloudy skies. By morning, it's going to drop down even more to 34 degrees with some sun, though, and that sun's going to be continuing out throughout the rest of the day, and the temperature will also increase to around 54 degrees. But coming up in my full forecast, this is no April Fool's joke. I promise we are going to be seeing some warmer temperatures later on this week, as well as some April showers, but I'll tell you all about that in my 5-day forecast.
2 groups protested in Chicago today in response to last week's move to drop all charges against Jussie Smollett. Kim Fox is the state's attorney for Cook County. Fox's office concluded there was not enough evidence to lead to a conviction. In exchange for having his charges dropped, Smollett agreed to forfeit his $10,000 bail and complete community service. Fox stepped away from the case in mid-February when Smollett shifted from victim to suspect. Another Illinois state trooper was killed while on duty. 36-year-old trooper Gerald Ellis was driving home on Saturday when his squad car was struck by a vehicle heading the wrong way on Interstate 94 in northern Illinois. He was hit around 3:25 a.m. in Green Oaks. Ellis later then died at a hospital about 4 a.m. State police say Ellis drove his squad car into the path of the oncoming vehicle to prevent it from hitting other cars behind him. He is the second state trooper to die on Illinois roadways this week and the third trooper this year.
A Springfield lawmaker is pushing for tougher penalties for Scott's Law violators. State Representative Tim Butler says Illinois needs to come down harder on drivers who don't move over when they see a vehicle on the side of the road. He says at the very least, the law should carry penalties similar to those for hitting a worker in a construction zone. And April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and the Women's Center at SIU is hosting events all month. These include a Hope Walk for honor survivors of sexual assault and a community egg hunt to raise awareness against child abuse. They also say a key to stopping sexual assault is bystander intervention.
Bystander intervention is huge. If someone looks like they've had too much to drink and someone's dragging them away, step in. If somebody looks uncomfortable at the bar or out at, in anywhere really, step in and say something.
Now, SIU is also hosting events over the month, including Teal Out for social media tomorrow.
The death of a young woman has many questioning ride-share services.
Plus, House Democrats are still working to get the full Mueller report. You're watching Evening Edition at 5. Welcome back to Evening Edition. A typical night out for friends turned horribly tragic in South Carolina. Police say a 21-year-old student was killed after she got into what she thought was an Uber ride.
The suspect, 24-year-old Nathan David Rowland, is in custody, but there are new questions about ride-sharing safety. Mary Maloney has the details.
Surveillance video shows 21-year-old Samantha Josephson getting into what she thought was an Uber early Friday morning.
We believe that she simply mistakenly got into this particular car thinking it was an Uber ride.
14 hours later, hunters discovered her body in a field 90 miles away.
I cannot fathom how someone could randomly select a person, a beautiful girl, and steal her life away.
Police arrested 24-year-old Nathaniel David Rowland on charges of kidnapping and murder. Investigators say they found Josephson's cell phone inside Rowland's black Chevrolet Impala, along with her blood.
Further examination determined that there was what appeared to be blood present in the car.
Police say the child's safety locks were activated, making it difficult for anyone to open the rear doors from the inside. Rowland didn't attend his first hearing, but Josephson's mother did, with a message.
My daughter's name is Samantha Josephson. Don't ever forget her name. Samantha Josephson, shame on you.
Josephson's friends and family held a vigil to remember a woman who had so much life. Her death sparking new concerns about ride-sharing security. Experts say to make sure the license plate, driver photo, and driver name match what's listed in the app before getting in a car.
This could happen to anybody, and that's the point. We have to teach the young people how to be careful.
I'm Mary Maloney reporting.
According to a post on her father's Facebook page, a funeral service for Samantha Josephson will be held Wednesday in Princeton Junction, New Jersey. Rap fans are mourning the death of performer Nipsey Hussle. He was shot and killed yesterday afternoon outside his Los Angeles clothing store. Police say the Grammy-nominated rapper was hit multiple times in a burst of gunfire that left 2 other people wounded. Hundreds of mourners gathered near the crime scene to pay tribute. He was scheduled to meet today with the Los Angeles police chief and commissioner. They were going to discuss ways to stop gang violence.
Every time that I met him, it was love. It was never on like, I'm better than you, or I'm a artist that's up here at this caliber. Like, no, you an artist trying to make it, I'm an artist trying to make it. I have a little bit more than you right now, so let me help you.
Police are searching for the suspect in the shooting. Nipsey Hussle was 33 years old and leaves behind 2 children.
Another horse has died at California's Santa Anita racetrack. The horse's named Armas Runner passed away after it collided with another horse during the San Simon Stakes on Sunday. The other horse was not injured. This is the 23rd horse death since late December. The track had just reopened for racing Friday after it was shut down last month. The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office has assigned investigators to look into the horse's deaths. And at least 17 people have died and 8 injured after a bus fire last night in Lima, Peru. The Peruvian Ministry of the Transport and Communications said that those responsible for the bus in San Martin de Porres will be sanctioned. The ministry also announced that the suspension of the bus transportation company. A member of the fire department told CNN that those who managed to escape felt the smoke was coming from the back of the bus. And technical issues are causing flight delays across the U.S. Airlines including Delta, United, American Airlines, and Southwest grounded flights this morning due to a problem with a third-party vendor Aerodata. The FAA, along with Delta and American Airlines, says the matter has been resolved. Delta says no cancellations are expected.
House Democrats are moving ahead with plans to authorize a subpoena to get Robert Mueller's full unredacted reports. Chairman Jerry Nadler says a vote is planned for Wednesday. That's a day after the Tuesday deadline Democrats set for Attorney General William Barr to provide the full report. A subpoena could set up a showdown between the Trump administration and congressional Democrats. The committee will also vote to authorize subpoenas for 5 former White House staffers, including Steve Bannon and Reince Priebus. Nadler says the former staffers might have White House documents relevant to Mueller's investigation. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention says the number of measles cases in 2019 is already the second greatest number of cases reported in the U.S. since the disease was eliminated in 2000. Measles is highly contagious. A total of 387 individual cases have been confirmed in 15 states from January 1st to March 28 of this year. Typical measles symptoms include high fever, rash, stuffy nose, and reddened eyes. The CDC says symptoms usually disappear without treatment within 2 or 3 weeks. A severe case of the measles can lead to death.
Vending machines in Nevada don't only have snacks, but they also have life-saving medicine. Narcan can be obtained in vending machines in the Las Vegas Valley. Health officials say after its easily available of Narcan to make a major difference in the opioid addiction. Narcan blocks the effects opioids have on the body and in some cases prevent an overdose. These machines will also eventually have other health-related items like hygiene kits and safe sex kits. And a new study shows Americans are changing the way they think about e-cigarettes. The study was published Friday in the Journal of American Medical Association. Researchers reviewed data from 2 national surveys given to adults every year. They found between 2012 and 2017 the number of people who believed that e-cigarettes are equally as bad as regular cigarettes went up. And hundreds of migrants are being released in Texas towns every day, and as Customs and Border Protection says, there's no room to hold more of them. One CBP facility is more than 350% over capacity.
While President Trump has threatened to close the border this week to stop the influx of migrants, Natasha Chen shows us how some of these migrants are being ushered into the U.S.
Arar Garcia can't remember which day he got to the U.S. It's been a blur. U.S. authorities gave him an ankle bracelet, and he's trying to get to a relative in Kansas, all to escape the dire economy and violence in Guatemala.
I worked on the fields, growing coffee plants.
He's one of at least 2,000 migrants who have already been dropped off by Customs and Border Protection into McAllen, Brownsville, and Harlingen because officials say there's just no room to hold them. In McAllen, CBP drops migrants off at Catholic Charities. If their U.S. relatives can buy them a bus ticket, they are then taken to the central bus station. Their long journey to the U.S. is now followed by confusion, a release with notices to appear in court, which many of them don't understand.
I explain to them what to expect up front. I tell them, immigration is going to ask you, where are you going?
Luis Guerrero is a volunteer who's seen and heard all their stories, including that of a 4-year-old girl whose family was robbed by men with machetes.
She said, I'll never forget you. And I said, why, Mama? She said, because you were the first one to tell us, welcome to the United States. That really hit me.
He helps all of them onto their next destinations. In McAllen, Texas, I'm Natasha Chen reporting.
We saw a lot of sunshine today. Is the sunshine going to continue for the rest of the week? Jordan has your forecast next.
But first on Wall Street, stocks in the day with positive results. The Nightly Business Report has more coming up next at 5:30.
Welcome back to Evening Edition. We're hoping you're able to enjoy this nice spring day, as we can see from this viewer photo taken by Dan Siska. If you view a photo, you can send it to our Facebook or Twitter at River Region News. As you see right now, it is 52 degrees with some nice and sunny skies. Our dew point's at 26 degrees. Humidity is at 36%, so it's not too bad today. The wind's coming in from the southeast at 5 miles per hour, and our barometer read 30.24. For our almanac today, though, as you can see that we were about 11 degrees below our average high for this time of year, usually around 63. We hit hit 52 today, but we were 6 degrees below our average low of 39. We were 33, so not too bad for that part. However, we did not hit that record of 88. That was our record high, or our record low of 20, both set in the mid-1900s. But let's take a look at our regional temperatures. As you can see, it was a pretty even day across the entire region. Waterloo was the only city today that saw some clouds. However, the rest of the region saw some nice and sunny skies. Waterloo and Carbondale are both at 52 degrees. Marion, Cape Girardeau, and Paducah were all at 51, and Evansville was the lowest at 50 degrees. So overall, a pretty even day across the entire region. But looking at our national temperatures, you can see that most of the central part of the country were feeling temperatures just like we were today in that 50 and 60 degree range. Of course, if you went a little bit more north, they were feeling temperatures in the 40s and 50s, and Florida was the one that was nice and warm, which is where I wish we were a little bit, but I will take those nice warmer temperatures that we saw today. But now let's take a look at the surface map. So there's kind of a lot going on in our area, not really in the river region where we are, but there was that high pressure system that's coming through that was bringing those nice warmer temperatures, those sunny skies that we saw today and a little bit later on this week. However, in our central to northern parts of Illinois and Missouri, there is some rain as well as some snow mixture, but we won't be seeing that in our area until later on this week. But if we look at tonight, it is going to be dropping down to the low of 33 degrees with some partly cloudy skies. There are some river flood warnings. There are 2 river flood warnings actually in our area. There's the Big Muddy River, so near Murfreesboro. That's going to be in effect until 4 p.m. tomorrow. There's also a river flood warning of the Mississippi River near Cape Girardeau. That's in effect until 2 p.m. So if you look for those areas, if you live near those areas, check those roads that flood easily. But for the bus stop in the mornings, you can see high of around 36 degrees with some nice and sunny skies, and the wind's going to be coming in from the southwest at 3 miles per hour. So you want to make sure that you and your kids both are bundling up in some layers, at least in the morning, because you'll want to be taking those off later on in the day. And speaking of tomorrow afternoon, high of 62 degrees, so some nice warmer temperatures that we're seeing. Mostly sunny skies. Those river flood warnings will end, just like I said, at 2 and 4 p.m. respectively. And the wind's going to be actually increasing to 11 miles per hour. So you just want to make sure that you have at least maybe a windbreaker tomorrow, just in case for those higher winds. But tomorrow night it's going to be dropping down to 41 degrees. So you want to get those layers right back up that you had in the morning, and some partly cloudy skies, and the wind's going to be dying down just a little bit to 8 miles per hour. Now let's take a look at this 5-day forecast, because spring, I'd like to say, is finally here. Wednesday, we're going to be seeing a high of 68 degrees with some mostly cloudy skies. Thursday, though, it's going to be dropping down a little bit to 59 with some rain, but then Friday, it's going to be right back up to 68 degrees with some clouds. But then Saturday, high of 73 degrees. Really nice temperatures. However, we will be seeing some rain in the afternoon.
It's really nice to see those warmer temperatures. Well, thank you so much, Jordan.
And now here's Patrick Cotto with a preview of what's coming up next in sports. Hello, Patrick.
Hello, Jacob. Coming up, the baseball team had a big test in front of them this weekend. And how are your brackets looking heading into the Final Four? You're watching Evening Edition on WSIU. The Saluki baseball team was in Indianapolis this weekend taking on the Butler Bulldogs. This weekend was originally scheduled as a weekend series, but due to bad weather, SIU only played in one of the games. SIU was down 5-0, but put up runs in the 3rd and 7th innings, but it wasn't enough as SIU came up short by 1 run, 5-4. Alex Lyon led the charge for SIU with 2 hits and 1 RBI. The Dogs' next game is tomorrow as they take on Arkansas State. And the Saluki men's golf team finished the FAU Spring Championships in 3rd place. UCF took the championship with a 35 under par, along with Florida Atlantic finishing in 2nd with a 26 under par. Peyton Wilhoit led the way for SIU with the 6 under par, with Mathis Bassard finishing just 1 shot behind him. The Dogs will head back to Carbondale before competing in the Tiger Invitational. And SIU men's basketball head coach Brian Mullins brings his brother into town, Brendan Mullins, as assistant coach. Brendan spent his last 2 seasons as assistant and recruiting coordinator with Illinois State. Mullins was also an assistant coach at Wright State and UIC and played his college basketball at St. Michael's College. Winners of their last 6 out of 8 games, the St. Louis Blues are back on the ice taking on the Colorado Avalanche. The Blues are coming off an overtime win against the New Jersey Devils, and with the win tonight, the Blues will just be 1 game behind the Predators for the 2nd seed in the Western Conference Central Division. Puck drop is set for 7 o'clock in St. Louis and can be seen on Fox Sports Midwest. After a tough overtime loss, the Chicago Blackhawks are back on the ice taking on the Winnipeg Jets. The Blackhawks are still fighting for a playoff spot, but need help if they want to get that final spot. The Hawks will have 3 games left after tonight as they need to win the rest of their games to have any hopes for the playoffs. Puck drop except for 7:30 tonight in Chicago. And as the NCAA tournament continues, the Elite Eight ended in a battle of David and Goliath. Michigan State and Duke were in a nail-biter as the Spartans ended the first half on a 13-0 run. All in the second half, no lead was safe, with Michigan State down by 2, as fifth-year senior Kenny Goins has given Michigan State with this three-pointer right here. Duke would sink 1 of 2 free throws, but Sparty drained the clock to escape with the 1-point victory. So with that win for Michigan State, that puts me in first place in our River Region bracket pool.
I don't even want to talk about what place I'm in.
Not a good place.
Not a good
Not
place.
a good place.
All right, thanks, Patrick. And are the warm spring temperatures going to stick around? Jordan has a final check of your forecast next.
But first, as we head a break, be sure to follow us on social media at River Region News and check out our website for more local content. We will be right back.
Happy birthday to you.
Finally tonight, Carter Berconi of New Jersey made some unlikely friends at a local skate park. The 5-year-old went to the park to celebrate his birthday, and a group of teenagers taught him how to skate and even gave him a skateboard. One of the teenagers says other guys helped him out when he started coming to the park, and he wanted to pay it forward. That is such a beautiful story. Is it going to be as beautiful as the weather we're about to see?
Well, it depends on what you're hoping for. If you're hoping for some beautiful skies, then no. But if you're hoping for those nice temperatures, then yes. As you can see, Wednesday it's going to be warming up to 68 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. Thursday, though, it's going to be dropping down with some rain. And then Friday, it's going to be cloudy. Saturday, some rain in the afternoon as well. But it is going to be nice and warm.
All right, thanks, Jordan. And thank you for joining us tonight. The Nightly Business Report is up next. I'm Jacob Gordon.
And I'm Maggie Latham. For Jordan Smearman, Patrick Cotto, and all the students who work on Evening Edition, have a good night.